So now we are moving to Facebook questions. Let's see how much more raunch your Facebook folks are. Are you ticklish? Yes, in some areas. Not gonna tell you where. Have you kept up on your dancing skills? Honestly, I have not technically. Especially right now, I should be in dance class. I'm not. But I still dance, I still do choreography, and I still love it. I just haven't done a lot of the technical work lately, and I would like to. But I'm always down to freestyle and learn some choreo. What do you value? It's a great question, but it's a loaded. Um, I value a lot of things, but if I had to pick one thing above anything else, honesty. And I know sometimes we might have to say a white lie to get out of something or else we're screwed totally, but for the most part, honesty is key to good relationships, friendships, work relationships, just everything. Because if you can't trust someone, it doesn't matter what they say or do, you'll always feel like, I don't know about this person, you know? And just in general, like, you have to be truthful to yourself too, and who you are, and other people should be truthful about who they are as much as possible. And I know a lot of people wear a mask when you meet them, but not literally, but figuratively. And I get it. We have to, in some degree, conform to society sometimes to get a job or to do certain things to just fit in society, but we don't have to lie about who we are, especially when we get close to people. And as far as relationships, don't cheat. Like, I can say cheating is pretty trash and coward. Like, you could really just tell someone, you know, I want to see other people, and that might suck and end the relationship, but it's better to at least give them the option than pretend like you're still doing the same thing and just going about your way. That's not okay. I'm all for like being an asshole if you're honest and is actually going to prevent you from being a freaking liar. What's the most influential experience you would say keeps you in film? That's a great question. So, one experience, wow. Before I moved to LA, I was in an abusive relationship and I knew it was bad, but I just, I don't think I saw how bad it was until I left, and that's how most abusive relationships are, physically and emotionally. So, one thing that kept me going was that I was like, I love acting. I want to go to LA. I want to make movies. And if I stay with this person, those dreams will never happen. And that is what kept me going and got me away from that abusive person. Honestly, it's crazy. I should just be a normal human being and be like, hey, that's not cool. Don't do that. Don't let that person do that to you. But actually, acting is what helped me get away from that. So I would say that is the most influential experience that led me to stay in film. And then as far as artistically, I just love it. When I'm on set, when I'm telling a story, tweaking it, and then I see it on the big screen or the small screen, I'm just really grateful for the collaboration. And it's just a fun process. Can gorgeous girls like yourself actually be thrilled to fall in love with a regular guy, not really cool, not really good looking, but a sweetheart through and through, maybe even a little pudgy, or is the pressure just too great? I've seen it in my wife. Is much better looking than I, but just wondering, it must be tough. Wow, that was a lot without any punctuation, so excuse me, sorry if it doesn't make sense. But Mr., I will say yes. Thank you for calling me gorgeous. But a girl like myself, if I'm in love with a person, like, no, they don't have to look like, I don't know, who does everyone like? Jason Momoa. They don't have to look like that, or a model, or whatever is the ideal version in society. They just have to be attractive to me. And what I find attractive, someone else might not find attractive. So that's really it. I mean, pudgy, I eat pretty healthy, so I don't want someone that's pudgy, but you know, if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna like not love someone anymore because they got a little pudgy. But you know, if it's 500 pounds later, we might need to have a conversation because that's a health issue. How has being from a high-fee city like Oakland made you unique as a Hollywood star? And why did you drop a mixtape under the name Deanna Loudpack? Okay, well, funny he made that last part up, but I am from Oakland, and man, I haven't lived in Oakland for a while, but I will say It's always going to be in me. You can't take it out. And I love Oakland. I feel like it's a little bit more diverse than LA. LA is pretty diverse, okay? But Oakland, I feel like people are more knowledgeable about different cultures than here. Like, I'm part Lao, and over here, people are like, what is that? Or never heard of it, maybe. And then over there, everyone knew what that was. So I just think, I don't know, in general, people are more chill there and also a little less judgmental than people in LA. And of course, I would say less superficial as well because we are in Hollywood. But yeah, I think, what was the question? I would just say, like, that experience growing up there has just been a part of me, and that's part of who I am. So here I am. It's always going to be with me. I don't know how else to explain it. What are your hobbies? Do you play frisbee? My hobbies are, outside of arts, of course, watching movies, chatting, eating. Honestly, eating and drinking coffee and lattes is probably my number one. Traveling, of course. Do I play? I don't play frisbee. I have, but no, not usually. What is the craziest or most exciting thing you have done? What do you want to do that you have not done yet? LOL. Good question. So, craziest and most exciting thing. Craziest, probably not in a good way. I've gone in a car with a stranger when I needed a ride in college, and we drove for like 2 hours back to where I was going, and that probably wasn't a good idea, but I was desperate and they seemed nice and I did. And that's kind of stupid. That's not crazy, huh? I would say most exciting was probably going to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos, China, just experiencing a different world. I mean, it's the same world, but experience a different side of the world and seeing third world countries and being really grateful for what we have, even though our country is nowhere near perfect, as we know. But I'm grateful for toilets, running hot water, and a lot of other things, being able to connect with people just because, and realizing there's more to life than our little issues in the United States. Half the stress that we put ourselves through is not even that important when we really look at the whole world. So it gives you perspective traveling, especially in third world countries. What do I want to do that I have not done yet? I mean, a lot of stuff. I'd mentioned traveling earlier, and obviously shooting more movies, studio movies, and network series regulars. How weird is too weird? Actually, I'm pretty cool for weird stuff. Even if you say something gross, at least I'll hear it and then I'll be like, no. But I'd rather you just be who you are, and if it's too weird for me, I'll let you know. But for the most part, I'm pretty open to hear. Chocolate or vanilla? Depends what it is. If it's like coffee, lattes, vanilla for sure. But if it's like just candy, chocolate. Pho or chicken noodle soup? Fun. I would say pho. I mean, it takes a lot more to make, but I think it's healthier depending on how you make it. But in general, pho. Pho is a great hangover food, but also just a great soup in general. I don't think I'd get bored. How many men randomly hit you up in your DMs, and how do you respond? If I do respond, usually it's like a double tap and I'm like, whatever. If they say something about acting or what I've done or something respectful, I'll double tap, or something nice, I'll double tap. I'll be like, hey, maybe. But I can't respond to everyone. That's just not possible. I don't know how many because I haven't counted. First date at church, what you gonna do? I feel like I might have had a church date before. But I mean, if you guys are enjoying each other spiritually, that's so important. And even if that's a church, it doesn't matter. It's a place where you bond spiritually. So if that works for two people, that's great. But for me, first date at a church, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be worshiping and listening to music, right? And praying. I don't know what else is there to do. I'm not gonna do anything weird or disrespectful. What's your biggest regret? I'd like to think I don't have any, but if I had to pick something, I would say just being a little reckless in college more than I should have, getting in trouble. I had a misdemeanor one time, which I reduced to an infraction, but that took lawyers and stuff, so I don't think I even told my parents that, but yeah, so, just being a little bit smarter about certain things. That's the only thing. But other than that, most of these experiences have shaped me into who I am, so I can't be mad about that. What has been your biggest takeaway post-publication of your book? What type of feedback have you received? Does it inspire you to write more? My biggest takeaway has been learning about the publishing part of it. Like, it's easy. Well, not easy, but you can sit down and write a book and then edit it, proofread it, get people to read it, and then make it the best possible version that you can make it. But then once you get to formatting and whatnot, you have other people involved unless you format it yourself, which I didn't do it myself. I hired some people to format it, and then it wasn't what I wanted, and then there's a lot of feedback back and forth, and then I went through like 4 or 5 book cover artists, and it was just it was like getting on my nerves, and I was just like, come on, I just wanted to just publish it already. And then you go into the marketing aspect, post publication, and marketing is hard. If you don't have a million followers or just a lot of money to advertise, which you don't want to spend more like than what you make. And in the beginning, I spent a lot more than what I was, projected to make. But I think it's worth it. I learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to publish another book. I don't know if it's going to be an acting book, but just something in general down the road, not right now. But I learned a lot, and I'm really happy I did it. I'm proud of myself because it's something I've never done. Whenever you do something new, it's kind of scary. And even if it's like, oh yeah, that's fine, like there's always a part of it that's kind of scary, and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work because you've never done it before. So once you do it, it's a good feeling. And I think if you ever wanted to write a book, you should do it. So you ever personally not like somebody's kid? Like you're cool and all with the parents, but not that little mother effer right there? That sounds like a personal problem. No, I haven't had that experience. You okay? Headshots mixed with art shots, yay or nay? I would say yay if it's just like your Instagram or portfolio, but if you're doing acting and it's for acting, no, you want headshots. Will you be okay if there's a civil war? Absolutely not. I moved to the desert with a dog and a gun, solar panels for my trailer, and soon digging a well and septic. Wow, that's really intense. I hope you're alright. Would you rather have the perfect guy, the perfect girl, or the perfect job? And why not the others? Perfect job. Because I don't know, I feel like humans are just imperfect, and we're always gonna somewhat get on each other's nerves sometimes. Your job, that too, but at least your job will bring you stability, income, which provides food. People say money doesn't matter, but money buys food, and food makes me happy. Thank you. Do you think Northern Californians are different than Southern Californians? I think the vibe is different. Have you ever faked it? That's a fun question. I have never faked it, and I am proud to say that. This is me thinking, wait, have I? No. If I did, like if I had a sex scene in a movie, then okay, that would be where I would fake it. But in real life, no. This is a really good conversation to have. I feel like nobody should fake it, because if you do and this person thinks you're enjoying it, then you're not giving them the opportunity to get better. Unless, I guess, you're never going to see them again. But even then, it's like, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. Like, if you want to get pleased, and that's the goal, I think, then you should tell them what you like. And if it's not what you like, just be like, no. I've had some really good experiences after I said, no, I don't like that. Yes, I like this. Because everyone's not a mind reader, and sometimes what works for 90% of the population may not work for that one person. And if you're with that one person, you gotta learn what they like, and vice versa. So I think it's so important to be honest, and maybe not ruin the mood and be like, ugh, this sucks, but like at least just, if they do something that's great, be like, oh, I like that, that feels great. Just so you have that communication, and it keeps getting better and better and better. If you don't say anything and just fake it, then it will never improve, and you're just gonna have to hope that someone else just knows what they're doing, and you might run into that. But why do that to yourself and to that person? Just be real, and you might get what you want. That is all for the Q&A. It was a very long Q&A, right? But thank you for asking, and maybe I'll do one of these later down the road. But for now, I hope you enjoyed it, and you can write more questions in the comments, or just let me know what you think. If you have any conversation topics, put it in the comments. See ya later.
Subscribe.